Baruchim Aboim! Welcome everybody to another edition of Daf Discussions. Today's Daf is Masech Shabbos, Daf Chav Daled. We will be discussing the din of Ein Madlikin B'Shemen Sreifa. The Mishnah says, Ein Madlikin B'Shemen Sreifa B'Yomtiv. You cannot light with Shemen, which is true. The Gemara explains terumah that became temeiah on Yomtiv. Why? My time. Why can you not light? Now we'll soon see what the question is. Why should you be allowed to? It's Havar, Rash, and the Gemara. Anonymity, Amar Chizkiya, Chizkiya, Pasuk, Leisir Menad, Baker, Imar Migdan, a few psukim. The Rashi says, because Yom Tov is Asay, V'Leisay, V'Nasay, Leisay, V'Asay. The Rashi explains the Gemara's question. Anonymity, the Ein Sarfin, Di Loy Memayet L'Kra, Islam Memalei, the Asay, the Eish Tisreifu, the Yidche, Leisay, Asay, the Eish Tisreifu, the Yidche, Leisay, Leisasay, Kamlacha. So the rational question is, why don't you say Asay, Leisay? By burning kachim. Now, our Mishnah is actually talking about truma. These psukim are talking about kachim. So, what's the combination truma and the kachim? L'chayr, there's a big difference truma and kachim because by kachim there's taka alav because there's no tzarech whatsoever. You're just burning it. You're not having any hanah from it. The Gemara is going to say on that chafei kachim is asr b'hanah b'shas you're burning it. So since there's no tzarech at all, forget about metaych for a minute. So therefore, it's taka alav. Mashenk and truma, you're allowed to have anah. You're allowed to use the candle of the Mishnah. You're madlikim and shaman tzreifa for it. So why is that a problem at all? So Rashi and Afchafei Mal asks the question. There's nothing wrong theoretically. So what's he going to say? I say dechalisa. I say. Even if I say dechalisa, who cares? There's nothing wrong with lighting a candle. So he says, Hoyil havaras shar kachim she'einen mehen esarin gamzu lo yotzim min haklal. Very interesting words. If anybody understands it, please let me know. Since kachim is aser, because there is takanot tzarech, so too truma is aser as well. Okay, we're going to talk about mitaych in a minute, the concept of mitaych. Tosfos asked the question as well. He asks, "Ein sarf and kachim beyond of him timer v'hechi alfinon truma mi kachim." In fact, Tosfos, these psukim are referring to kachim. You have a pasuk or whatever it is. He says there it's very understandable because since like we said, it's aser, it's havar. There's no tzarech at all, so it's aser. But heckling out the truma which has a tzarech. I affect Tosfos, you're going to tell me even kachim be'etzim should be mutter because you're going to say mitaych should havar l'tzarech or tanamish l'tzarech. So be'etzim havar by kachim should also be fine, and yet be fine. Exeris akasav that it's aser. So truma is the same thing. He says it's not true because you don't say mitaych unless there's some sort of tzarech hayoim tzas. But by burning kachim, there's no tzarech at all. There's nothing. You're not getting anything out of it for gabe the yomtiv. So memela, how can you learn out the truma that it should be aser? Maybe dafke kachim is aser. How do you have a right to learn it out? So Tosfos, he brings on one teretz at the end. He says the teretz is it's gzera truma atu kachim. Kachim is aser because of the psukim, and the pasuk, the shad in the pasuk is very simple because there's no mitaych, so there's no tzarech, so it's a regular iser. And the pasuk is just telling you, I guess, that you don't say the chalisa say. And truma is a gzera. Now, like we said, Rashi already he had a different teretz which we don't understand. Rashi over here in Shabbos, Rashi said that toil lavor shar kachim shein enemy on asarm gamz lo yotzim in aklal. Now the question is as follows. Rashi in Masechtas Beitz Daf Yud Beis, he's of the opinion that mitoich shoter avar l'tzarech l'tanamish l'tzarech is even if there's no tzarech at all, whatsoever. So according to Rashi, kachim is just as shver. Tosfos answers over here is exer truma atu kachim, and Rashi here says kachim is a problem. Truma is legar from kachim. But the question is, this is all if you don't say mitoich. But if you hold the concept of mitoich shoter avar l'tzarech, so the chayra, what's shad in kachim? How can you understand that kachim is aser? Ain't starf and kachim beyond it. You have Tosfos kasha. Tosfos asked about truma, but according to Rashi, you should have it even by kachim as well. Now Rashi in the beginning of the Gemara, he says minani mili ain't starf, and why don't you say the chalisa say? Pnei Yeshua points out Rashi could have explained the Gemara's kasha that why don't you say mitaych? Now the reason why Rashi didn't explain the Gemara's kasha like that is so Pnei Yeshua says because he wanted to explain the Gemara even if you don't say mitaych, even without the concept of mitaych. But at the end of the day, according to the Shita that holds a mitaych, how is he going to explain why you're not saying kachim b'yomtiv? So now, if you look at Rashi in Be'ah, he gives a different teretz than Rashi over here. Why ain't sarf and kachim b'yomtiv? Why it's not a problem? It's Mishnah Chav Zayin obeys. It says alachal halashon temas that lo yizizim mekayim. The Rashi the reason is you can't give it to an animal because we'll see Rashi. We'll see tomorrow's daf. Rashi is of the opinion, not like Tosfos, that truma you're allowed to give truma temeiah. You're allowed to give to an animal. You don't have to burn it. So Rashi says, "The loy temeiah dafke sreif mishun avar shel tzarchi." The loy madlik mishun tzarchi beyond the havar tzarchi. The lokas never beyond the tzarchi. He says, "So why is it aser?" So he says the reason is gzeres hakos v'shen temeiah kosh b'ram yontiv. The rachmana So since the Torah was achsheve, the Torah says beishti saref, you have to burn the truma shenetmas. That itself means it's av melacha. And Rashi says that even if you're feeding it to an animal, this is the chiddush neira of Rashi. You're giving it to animal. Rashi says that you're allowed to give truma to an animal, truma temeiah. Afilu hachi, the Torah is achsheve. That also means it's a melacha. Even that you're going to be over on Yom Tov. Now everyone's matmiya. What's the svara behind this? But a lot of the Achronim ask a murdig kasha from the Gemara in Pesachim Daf Hey, where the Gemara says that Rabbi Kiva says the way you know Sreifas Chometz is Erev Pesach is because it's a svara. Since Havar is a lav, so therefore you can't be Serev Kachim on Yom Tov, you can't be over the lav. Now the Gemara says you see from Rabbi Kiva three things. Now one of the things is that he holds Ein Bir Chometz al Sreifa. It must be Rabbi Kiva holds Ein Bir Chometz al Sreifa, because this Rabbi Kiva would hold that you could do Bir Chometz a different way. So what's the right Bir Chometz there of Yom Tov? Maybe Bir Chometz is on Yom Tov. You just give it the way you'll be mevayer is a different way. According to Shittas Rashi, that if the Rechman is achshedei, that's malach even without burning, even with giving it to a dog. So here too, what's the raya that Kiva holds Ein Bir Chometz al Sreifa? Maybe Bir Chometz is whichever way you want. And the reason why over here, the reason why it's a problem is because the Rechman achshedei. So there are a few truths in the Achronim we're going to say over the Noid Yehuda some Sefer, and then if we have time, I'll say a third teretz from my Rebbe Rabbi Yankel Zilber Shlita. The Noid Yehuda explains, it's running late, they got to be very mekatzer. The Noid Yehuda explains that the Bir Chometz is a mitzvah only on the person who owns the Chometz. This is Chometz in the Welt, Hefker, let's say. There's no mitzvah to burn it. So if you're going to tell me the svar of Achshevei over there, it will turn out that it's only Achshevei for the person that owns it. In other words, me, I own Chometz. For me, it's Achshevei, I own it. So for me, it'll be a malacha. For someone else, it wouldn't be a malacha. He says, you don't say that. It's not possible that it's only malacha for one person. Mashek in Truma, where there's a din, Truma Temei has to be burned, there's a mitzvah on everyone. So he says, you can't have something in Hilchah Shabbos that's going to be a malacha for one guy, not for another guy. So the svar of Rashi only applies up to Neit Yehuda to Truma Temei, which is a mitzvah on everyone to burn. Mashek in Chometz, which is not a mitzvah on everybody, it's only a mitzvah on the owner. It's not possible to say for him it's achshevei, if someone else is not achshevei. It turns out you can't be mechalak in Hilchah Shabbos like that. Some Sefer gives a different teretz in the Tshuva. And Simon Kuf Nun Aleph and Archaim. By the way, the Noid Yehuda is a Medur Kama or Archaim Simta as well. Some Sefer says a Givaldi Gezach. He says Be'etzim Truma Temeiah. Rashi told you allowed to give it to a dog. Why? Because Be'etzim the Gemara says Chafei will see tomorrow. You should learn out that there's a Chiv Sreifa. Kshem Shem Mitzvah Lisser Vakotchem Shenit Mukach Mitzvah Lisser Truma Shenitmas. No, Be'etzim should be a Chiv Sreifa, and there's a Chiv to get rid of it. The Amar Torah B'Shas B'Ur Tenim Man. Hechmer Torah. Then it's Mishtei Truma is Xeris Hakos of Shalchotei Lahasiga Tachas Tavshiluch that you're allowed to use B'Shas you're burning and getting rid of it. You're allowed to use it. And Rashi understood that means Huadin you're allowed to get rid of it through feeding it to a dog. But that's in the Chiv Sreifa. So there, the Torah says the Chiv Sreifa. So when it says you're allowed to give it, you're allowed to use it Lahasaka Tachas Tavshiluch. That's Tachas Sreifa, Tachas burning. So that's a malacha because the Torah is telling you that using it, that's considered a malacha of Sreifa. Mashikin by Chometz. There's no din to burn it. If we're saying the more brings Raya and Bir Chometz al Sreifa, because if you wouldn't say Bir Chometz al Sreifa, it would just be a din tashbisu, so you have to get rid of it. But then there's no malacha of Havara. It wouldn't be considered a Sreifa. You don't see in the Torah that's a Sreifa. So he says Rashi and Beya that says Rachman Achshevei. He means Rachman Achshevei considers it Sreifa. Now we got the Etzim Shaila of Taisus, which everyone's met. The Shaila is what's wrong with being Serev Kachim B'Yom, especially if you don't hold Mitoich, let's say. So the Yerushalmi, Rabbi Yankel Zilber Shlita brought down the Yerushalmi that says the din of the kachim b'yomtiv is even if you lit it on erev yomtiv, it can't be lit. In other words, so he's learning pshat. You could say that it's not a din in yomtiv; it's a din in kachim. This man of streifas kachim is not on yomtiv. So you can't ask me a kasha what's wrong, or you should learn it from here. They don't say mitoich. As long as you do mitoich, how do you say mitoich? Just it's usher because it's not this man streifa haraya. Even if you light it erev yomtiv, it can't stay burning on yomtiv. So Amil that adds to Taisus kasha, and you could say truma is the same thing. It's not this man of biur. Now I just want to finish one more thing. To Taisus Shon of Chavhei, he asks that according to the first sheet, we didn't want to say the teretz, and I say the chalais if I say why don't you learn because they hold. He said he names on why are they arguing with the last teretz? They hold it to the lav. It's not a lav. I say he says why don't you learn out from there? Neil mehalcha the leidochi I say it's lois say. They don't say the chalais. So saying according to Rashi, it's not such a shvar kasha because he's not. According to Rashi, you could say the other truthsim. They also agreed to say lois say. The reason why they didn't want this teretz is because they held you say miteich. And if you say mitoich, and I say it's not going to work. So Mashing in the last teretz held you don't say mitoich. It didn't hold the mitoich like the Neshua said. The reason why Taisus Yishanim assume that they're arguing if it's asay or not, because L'shitasa, like we said, he held that there is no din mitoich if there's no tzarech tzas. So mitoich is not going to help you at all. So Elamai, it's the reason why he's arguing is because nothing to do with mitoich. Mitoich is not going to help. Elamai, he held it's a regular. They're arguing if it's a lav or it's a lav asay. Shkoyach.